My parents mortgaged the house I lived in and helped pay for it to fund my sister's lavish lifestyle, leaving me homeless. Years later, they demanded I host their grand golden anniversary party at my new mansion. It's the least you can do. They had no idea what I had planned. The cream-colored envelope sat on my marble kitchen counter like a landmine waiting to detonate. Even from across the room, I recognized my father's perfect calligraphy, the same writing that had adorned countless birthday cards and Christmas presents before he decided I wasn't worth the ink anymore. I'm Samuel, and 10 years ago, I lost everything because I trusted my family. Now they want something from me, and the irony is almost poetic. Just throw it away, Rowan said, sipping his coffee at my breakfast bar. You don't owe them anything. I picked up the envelope, its weight substantial, expensive paper stock announcing its importance. No. I want to see what kind of mental gymnastics they're attempting this time. Inside was an invitation, gold-leafed and pristine. I read it aloud. We cordially request the honor of your presence. No, wait, I laughed, a sharp bitter sound. They're requesting the honor of my mansion. They want me to host their 50th wedding anniversary celebration. The audacity, Rowan whispered, shaking his head. After everything they did, the memories crashed over me like a wave. Standing in the rain outside my foreclosed house, desperately dialing their number while the answering machine picked up again and again. Watching through social media as they celebrated Chloe's lavish lifestyle with champagne in Hawaii while I slept in my car. Too proud to tell anyone but Rowan what had happened. My phone buzzed. Father's number. I put it on speaker. Samuel, darling, did you receive our invitation? His voice dripped honey, the same tone he used when he convinced me to co-sign that mortgage. Your mother and I thought it would be wonderful to celebrate in your beautiful home. You've done so well for yourself. Funny how you notice that now, I replied, keeping my voice level. 10 years ago, you couldn't even return my calls? Oh, sweetheart, ancient history. Family should forgive and forget. Besides, Chloe feels terrible about everything. I caught Rowan's eye. He was making gagging motions. Does she? I asked. Terrible enough to pay back the $300,000 you stole from me to fund her extravagant lifestyle? We didn't steal anything. Father's voice sharpened. We made a family decision. You were always so dramatic about these things. If you'd just been more supportive? My laugh could have cut glass. I supported all of you. I worked 2 jobs while going to college. I made half the mortgage payments on that house, and you remortgaged it behind my back for Chloe's shopping sprees. Your sister had a difficult time adjusting. Your sister had a cocaine habit and a shopping addiction, but sure, let's call it adjusting. Silence crackled over the line. Then softer, Samuel, please. It would mean so much to your mother and me. Everyone's been asking about our anniversary plans, the Kellys, the Manns. We can't exactly tell them our son refused to help us celebrate. And there it was, the real reason, their precious reputation. I looked around my kitchen, all marble and chrome, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Every inch bought with my own blood, sweat, and tears. Every dollar earned while they pretended I didn't exist. You know what? Yes. Rowan's head snapped up. Really? I'll host your party, I continued. I'll give you the celebration you deserve. After hanging up, Rowan stared at me. Please tell me you're not actually doing this out of the goodness of your heart. I walked to my home office and opened the bottom drawer of my filing cabinet. Inside was a red folder I'd been adding to for 10 years, bank statements, email screenshots, voicemails transferred to digital files. A photograph of me standing outside my old house the day of the foreclosure, taken by a newspaper reporter who thought I was just another casualty of the housing crisis. They want to celebrate their perfect family? I smiled, running my fingers over the folder. Then let's give everyone the full picture, in high definition. Rowan's eyes widened as understanding dawned. Samuel, what exactly are you planning? Father always said presentation is everything. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to a contact I'd been saving for just the right moment. And I know just the videographer to help us with ours. The phone rang twice before Jamie answered. I need someone to document a very special family reunion, I said. One where the truth finally gets its moment in the spotlight. I could practically hear Rowan grinning behind me as I added, and trust me, it's going to be one hell of a show. The string quartet can set up here, I told the event planner, gesturing to the grand foyer's curved staircase, and the catering stations will line the east wall of the ballroom. Jamie whistled as she panned her camera around the space. This place is something else. Hard to believe you built all this in 10 years. Spite is a powerful motivator, I said, checking my watch. Rowan should be here soon with the special materials. On cue, my best friend burst through the front door, carrying a sleek laptop and several USB drives. Got everything we need, including that voicemail you never deleted. My stomach clenched at the memory. Father's voice, syrupy sweet. Chloe really needs this, honey. Don't be so selfish. Family helps family. Jamie lowered her camera. So walk me through the plan again. Your parents think I'm just filming a standard anniversary video? Exactly. I led them into my home office. You'll capture all the usual moments, guests arriving, toasts, dancing, but you'll also get their reactions when we show them this. I pulled up a carefully edited montage on my computer, screenshots of desperate text messages I'd sent them, bank statements showing the unauthorized mortgage withdrawal, social media posts of their luxury vacations while I worked minimum wage jobs. Jesus, Jamie muttered, watching the footage. They really left you with nothing? Almost nothing. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out a crumpled envelope. I kept my last pay stub from the diner. 12 hours on my feet, making $7.25 an hour while they were posting photos from their cruise with Chloe. Rowan squeezed my shoulder. Remember when you stayed with me? You worked 3 jobs and still found time to take online business courses. Had to. No one else was going to save me. I stood up, straightening my blazer. Now let's talk about the menu cards. I pulled out a sample, elegant cream cardstock with gold lettering. Look closer, I said, holding it up to the light. The watermark was barely visible, a miniature reproduction of the foreclosure notice. Damn, Jamie said admiringly. That's cold. I learned from the best. I smiled thinly. Father always said attention to detail matters. The doorbell rang. Through the security camera, I saw the florist waiting with sample arrangements. Come on, I told them. We have more staging to do. As we walked through the mansion, I pointed out strategic locations for Jamie's hidden cameras. We need to capture every reaction, every whispered comment, every moment they realize their perfect family facade is crumbling. The florist gushed over the house while setting up her samples. Such a beautiful home. Your parents must be so proud. I saw Rowan bite back a laugh. Oh, they had nothing to do with this place, I said pleasantly. In fact, they've never even visited before. The florist's smile faltered. But they're having their anniversary party here? Ironic, isn't it? I selected a dramatic arrangement of white lilies, Father's favorite. We'll need these on every table, and make sure they're fresh. Nothing worse than watching something beautiful decay in front of everyone's eyes. After the florist left, Jamie reviewed some test footage on her camera. The lighting in here is perfect for capturing every expression. No one will be able to hide their reactions. My phone buzzed. A text from Father. Darling, Chloe mentioned she'd love to give a speech at the party. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I showed it to Rowan, who rolled his eyes. Wanna bet she uses it to show off her latest designer purchases to your guests? Let her, I said, typing back a cheerful, of course. The more rope they give themselves, the better. We worked through the afternoon, perfecting every detail. Jamie set up her equipment while Rowan helped me choose the perfect spots to plant our evidence. Years of collected proof, hidden in plain sight throughout the party. As the sun set, casting long shadows through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I stood in the ballroom where everything would unfold. Having second thoughts? Rowan asked quietly. I thought about the night they changed the locks on my house, how I'd stood in the rain watching through the windows as they packed up my belongings, how Father had seen me but turned away, closing the curtains. No, I said, my voice steady. They chose their golden child 10 years ago. Now they can watch their golden anniversary turn to ash. Jamie checked her watch. I should head out. Big day tomorrow. Lots of prep work. As they left, I remained in the ballroom, imagining the scene that would unfold in just a few days. The shocked gasps, the horrified whispers, the moment my parents would realize that their perfect family portrait was about to be reframed in perfect, merciless detail. Time to come home, Father, I whispered to the empty room. I've been waiting to welcome you properly. The string quartet's music floated through my mansion as guests arrived in their designer best. Jamie circulated with her camera, capturing the artificial warmth of family reunions while I played the perfect host. Darling, Father air kissed my cheeks, his diamond cufflinks catching the light. Everything looks absolutely magnificent, though perhaps the lilies are a touch aggressive for the space? Before I could respond, Mother wrapped me in a stiff hug. Prince, you've outdone yourself. Always knew you had it in you to be successful. Did you? I kept my smile fixed. Funny, I don't remember that vote of confidence when I needed it. She laughed uncomfortably and drifted toward the bar. Samuel, a familiar voice dripped with false enthusiasm. Still living alone in this massive house, such a shame. I turned to face Henry, who'd apparently aged through spite and Botox. Henry, still living with your parents? Such a choice. He flushed. I'm between properties, actually. Speaking of which, your sister was just telling me about her exciting new shopping trip. Was she? I spotted Chloe holding court near the champagne fountain, gesturing dramatically to a group of older women. Excuse me. I should say hello. As I approached, I caught the tail end of her story, most exclusive boutique in Milan. They only let in certain clientele. Chloe, I interrupted smoothly. Wonderful to see you're still shopping. She turned, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. Bro, I was just telling these ladies about my recent European tour. Actually, since you're here, maybe we could discuss that loan I mentioned? Oh, honey. I patted her arm. I learned my lesson about lending to family the hard way. But I'm sure these nice women would love to hear about your last shopping spree, the one with the maxed out credit cards. The ladies exchanged glances and began to drift away. You always were jealous of my style, Chloe hissed once they were gone. Style? I laughed. Is that what we're calling it now? Jamie appeared with her camera. Would you mind if I got some footage of the siblings together for the anniversary video? Of course not. I pulled Chloe close, feeling her stiffen. We have so many wonderful memories to share. Perfect, Jamie said. Maybe tell me about growing up together? Oh, Chloe was always the star, I said brightly. Remember that time you needed emergency cash for your spa weekend in Vegas? The one that somehow coincided with a designer sample sale? Chloe's grip on my shoulder tightened. That's ancient history. Is it? Funny how some debts never seem to get old. Father's voice cut through the tension. Everyone. Regina is giving tours of Samuel's lovely home. Do join her upstairs. I excused myself and followed the tour group, staying just out of sight. Jamie trailed behind, camera rolling. And of course, we helped Samuel get his start, Mother was saying to the assembled guests, always believed in investing in our children's futures. The crystal champagne flute in my hand nearly cracked under my grip. Both your children seem so successful, someone commented. You must be very proud. Oh, yes, Mother chimed in, though Samuel was always so independent. Wouldn't let us help much. Not like Chloe, who understood the importance of family support. Rowan appeared at my elbow. Need a drink? Need several. I watched the tour continue down the hall. They're rewriting history right in front of everyone. Not for long. He nodded toward Jamie, who was capturing every word. The party continued, a glittering facade of family unity. I played my part perfectly, the grateful son, the generous host, the successful entrepreneur sharing his good fortune. Then I overheard it. Mother was telling her golf club friends in a staged whisper, frankly, we were worried about Samuel for a while, so angry about that house situation when we were only trying to help both our children equally, but look how well it turned out. Sometimes tough love is the best medicine. The crystal flute finally snapped in my hand. Shit, Rowan muttered, quickly helping me clean up the mess. You're bleeding. I watched a drop of blood stain the pristine marble floor. Good. Let it stain. Let something real mark this fake celebration. Almost time, Jamie whispered as she passed, patting her equipment bag meaningfully. I looked around my mansion, now full of people who'd watched me fall and never offered a hand up. Who believed every lie my parents told about my selfishness, who were even now consuming my food and drink while swallowing the fiction that my success was somehow a family achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, I heard Mother announce, if you'll all proceed to the ballroom, we have a special video presentation prepared. I caught Rowan's eye and nodded. Showtime. The ballroom buzzed with anticipation as guests found their seats. Jamie stood by the projection system, giving me a subtle thumbs up. Everything was ready. Before we begin the video, Father announced, champagne flute raised, I'd like to say a few words about family unity. I caught Rowan rolling his eyes behind his own glass. Regina and I have been blessed with 2 wonderful children, Father continued, his voice thick with performative emotion. Through all life's ups and downs, we've supported each other unconditionally. My hand tightened around my fresh champagne glass. Next to me, Chloe smirked. Even when times were tough, Father's gaze swept the room, we made sacrifices for each other. That's what real family does. Sacrifices? I couldn't help myself. Would you like to elaborate on those sacrifices, Father? He faltered for just a moment. Well, of course, dear. Like when we helped you learn independence. A few guests chuckled. I stood up. That's an interesting way to phrase it. I moved to the front of the room. Since we're on the topic of family history, why don't we watch that video now? Wait. Chloe interrupted. I thought I was giving my speech first? Oh, you'll have your moment, sister. Trust me. Jamie dimmed the lights. The massive screen flickered to life. One moment, I addressed the crowd. While we're celebrating family unity, I overheard some confusion about how I acquired this house. Mother, Father, would you like to clarify for everyone how you helped me achieve this success? Mother puffed up proudly. Well, we always encouraged your ambitions. Really? I turned to the guests. Because I have a different memory. Jamie, could you play that clip from earlier? The screen showed Mother from just an hour ago, and, of course, we helped Samuel get his start, always believed in investing in our children's futures. Interesting. I paced slowly across the front of the room. Would anyone like to guess how much my parents invested in my future, the exact dollar amount? Father stood abruptly. Samuel, this isn't the time. Actually, it's exactly the time. The amount was negative $300,000. That's how much they took from me. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Now, Mother attempted to laugh it off. You're making it sound so dramatic. Jamie, I called out. Play the rain footage. The screen showed a shaky cell phone video, me, standing in a downpour outside my old house, pounding on the door. Father's face appeared briefly in the window before the curtain closed. That was the night they changed the locks, I explained to the stunned audience, after remortgaging my house without my knowledge to fund Chloe's lavish lifestyle. That's a lie, Chloe shouted, jumping to her feet. Is it? Jamie, the bank statements, please. Documents filled the screen. Mortgage papers, withdrawal records, transfer confirmations to various luxury retailers and travel agencies. Stop this at once. Father's voice shook with rage. Why? Isn't this the family unity you wanted to celebrate? Here's another classic family moment. The screen showed my parents' social media posts, cocktails on a Hawaiian beach, tagged #FamilyVacation #blessed. The timestamp matched another document, my pay stub from working the night shift at a 24-hour diner. You see, I continued as the evidence mounted on screen. While I was sleeping in my car and working 3 jobs, my loving family was investing in their favorite child's dreams. And when it all fell apart, they had a very unique way of showing support. Jamie played the saved voicemail. Chloe really needs this, honey. Don't be so selfish. Family helps family. The ballroom had gone deathly quiet. Henry's mouth hung open. Several guests were staring at their shoes. Samuel, mother's voice cracked. We never meant, father began. To get caught, I finished. To have your perfect family facade crumble in front of all your friends? To face actual consequences for once? How dare you, father hissed. After we gave you everything, you gave me nothing. My voice finally broke. You took everything I had and gave it to her. I pointed at Chloe, who had gone pale. And then you abandoned me when I needed you most. The screen continued cycling through evidence, ignored texts, declined calls, social media posts showing their luxurious lifestyle, while I rebuilt from nothing. But you're right about one thing, father. I lifted my glass. Family does make sacrifices. I sacrificed my trust, my home, and 10 years of my life learning that lesson. And now you get to sacrifice your reputation. Jamie's camera panned across the horrified faces of the guests. Father's carefully styled hair seemed to have wilted. Mother seemed to have aged a decade in minutes. And Chloe? Chloe was already edging toward the door. Now then, I smiled at the stunned crowd. Who's ready for the main feature? The opening montage started innocently enough. Childhood photos set to soft piano music, me and Chloe building sandcastles. Family picnics. Christmas mornings. Oh, how precious, someone whispered. Then the music changed. A harsh electronic beat replaced the gentle piano. What's happening? Father demanded as the screen filled with a high-resolution scan of the foreclosure notice. Just keeping it real, I said, taking center stage. Since we're celebrating history, let's not skip the important parts. Email chains populated the screen. My desperate messages, please answer your phone. The bank is taking the house. I don't understand. How could you remortgage without telling me? Mom, Dad, I'm sleeping in my car. Please help. Each one marked read with no response. Turn it off, Mother shouted at Jamie, who kept filming steadily. Can't do that, ma'am. Professional integrity. The screen split to show surveillance footage from my old neighborhood. Me, loading what few possessions I could fit into my beaten-up Honda. Mother and father pulling up in their Mercedes, walking past without a glance. You recorded us? Father's voice shook with outrage. The security cameras did. Amazing what you can request from county records. Chloe tried to bolt for the door, but Rowan blocked her path. Stay for the best part, lady. Your shopping spree receipts are coming up. Sure enough, the screen filled with Chloe's face, younger and cocaine jittery, flaunting designer outfits in her bedroom mirror, while charts showed hundreds of thousands disappearing into her credit card accounts. This is slander, she shouted. Actually, I corrected, it's public record. Your bankruptcy filing was very detailed. The footage shifted to social media posts. My parents on cruise ships, at spa retreats, funding Chloe's fresh starts, while I worked double shifts. Each post timestamped, each luxury purchase documented alongside my minimum wage deposits. You're just jealous, father spat, his face flushed with anger. You always resented Chloe's lifestyle. Lifestyle? I laughed. Jamie, show them the Vegas footage. Security camera clips from various high-end stores showed Chloe shopping away family funds at luxury boutiques. Mother and father covering her debts with money that should have been paying my mortgage. My God, Henry breathed. You monsters. Now, I smiled. They're not monsters. They're just family. The screen filled with newspaper clippings. Local coverage of the housing crisis, featuring my old house. Credit card statements about Chloe's mounting debts. And finally, years later, stories about my rise in real estate development. Not 1 cent, I addressed the crowd. That's how much help I got building this life. While they funded shopping spree after shopping spree for their precious daughter, I slept in my car, worked every job I could find, and taught myself business at the public library. We did what we thought was best, Mother tried weakly. Best for who? Rowan shot back. I watched him cry himself to sleep on my couch for months while you were posting about family loyalty on Facebook. The final sequence began playing, a perfect mirror of the opening montage. But instead of happy family photos, it showed the reality. Empty chairs at holidays, ignored birthday cards, years of calculated indifference while I rebuilt my life from scratch. Happy anniversary. I raised my glass to my shell-shocked parents. Here's to family unity. Father lunged for me, hand raised to slap, but Jamie caught it all on camera. Careful, she warned. Battery assault looks bad in court. You've ruined everything, he sobbed. No, father. You did that years ago. I just made sure everyone saw the footage. Guests began standing, gathering their things in uncomfortable silence. Some shot disgusted looks at my parents. Others wouldn't meet anyone's eye. Wait, Chloe pleaded as her potential suitors headed for the exit. Her relationship prospects are exactly as solid as your last ones, I finished. But don't worry, I'm sure mom and dad will fund your dating life. That's what real family does, right? Mother sagged in her chair, looking ancient. I never thought, we never meant it to go this far. Funny. I walked to the screen, now showing that final image of me outside my foreclosed house. That's exactly what I thought when you changed the locks. The ballroom had nearly emptied. Only my parents, Chloe, Rowan, Jamie, and a lingering Henry remained. Well, I smiled at my trembling father. I think that's enough family history for one night. Jamie, did you get everything? She patted her camera. Every second, including all the guest reactions. Perfect. I turned to my family. The exit is that way. Try not to steal anything on your way out, though I suppose old habits die hard. The aftermath was exactly as chaotic as I'd expected. Guests fled like rats from a sinking ship, their expensive heels clicking rapidly across my marble floors. Some paused only long enough to grab their gift bags, now ironically stuffed with USB drives containing copies of the full video presentation. You've destroyed this family. Father's tear-stained face contorted with rage. Is that what you wanted? Destroyed? I laughed. No, father. I just showed everyone what you already broke. Chloe charged toward me, her face red. You stupid jerk. I had prospects lined up tonight. Rowan stepped between us. Back off, shopping queen. The only thing you had lined up was another scam. It wasn't a scam. She turned to our parents. Tell him my lifestyle is legitimate this time. Mother couldn't even look at her. She just sat there, staring at her hands, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. Oh my God. Henry's voice cut through the tension. He was scrolling through his phone. It's already hitting social media. Someone live-streamed the whole thing. What? Father grabbed his own phone, fingers trembling. No. Karma's really embracing digital these days, isn't it? I smiled. Jamie, make sure you get this part too. You can't film this. Chloe lunged for Jamie's camera, but stumbled, knocking over a champagne tower. The crystal glasses shattered across the floor, a perfect metaphor for the evening. Actually, I can, Jamie replied calmly. Your brother had everyone sign media releases at the door. Standard practice for event photography. You did read what you signed. Right? Chloe's face went from red to white. You planned this, all of it, for 10 years, I confirmed. Though you made it surprisingly easy, your social media trail of excess and extravagance was very thorough. Father suddenly rushed at me, hand raised. The slap echoed through the nearly empty ballroom. Feel better? I asked, touching my cheek. Because that's assault on camera, and I'm pressing charges. You wouldn't dare, he gasped. Try me. I learned from the best how to hurt family. Mother finally stood up. Enough. Franklin, let's go. We need to think. Think? I scoffed. That's a first. He turned to me, aged eyes wet. I didn't think it would go this far. You keep saying that, I noted. But how far did you think abandoning your son would go? How far did you think stealing his house would go? We didn't steal, Father began, but Henry cut him off. Actually, Mr. Daniels, you did. Everyone turned to look at him. My father's a real estate attorney, remember? He looked over the original deed when I showed him the video. Samuel's name was never legally removed. What you did wasn't just cruel. It was fraud. The silence that followed was deafening. Fraud? I tested the word. Jamie, did you get that confession on camera too? She nodded, still filming. Chloe grabbed Father's arm. We need to leave now before I what? I stepped closer. Before I press criminal charges, before I sue you all for everything you've got left, or before I send this footage to every friend and business contact in your phone. You wouldn't, she whispered. I pulled out my phone and held it up. I already did. Check your email. Her phone started buzzing immediately. From the look on her face, her friends were not happy. Let's go, Mother said quietly, pulling Father toward the door. There's nothing left to say. Oh, there's plenty left to say, I called after them. But I think the video says it all better than I could. They shuffled out, a broken parade of designer clothes and destroyed pretenses. Only Henry lingered. For what it's worth, he said, I always knew something was wrong about their story. The way they talked about you after everything. It never added up. Thanks, I replied, though you could have said something sooner. He shrugged. Would it have helped? Probably not. After he left, Rowan hugged me tight. You okay? I touched my cheek where Father's slap still stung. Better than okay, I feel light. Jamie lowered her camera. That's a wrap, I guess. Want me to edit together a highlight reel? Please make sure to include Father's assault. My lawyer will want to see that. You're really pressing charges? Rowan asked. I looked around my empty ballroom at the shattered champagne glasses and abandoned gift bags, at the screen still frozen on that image of me in the rain, homeless and desperate, while they lived their best lives. Yes, I said firmly. It's time they learned about consequences, the hard way, just like I did. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing the next morning. News travels fast in the age of social media, and apparently, a wealthy family's public implosion makes for irresistible content. Have you seen this? Rowan sent me a link to a local news website. The headline read, Golden Anniversary turns to lead, family fraud exposed at society event. Before I could respond, another call came in, my investor friend from Morocco. Samuel, he said without preamble, your sister just tried to pitch me her new lifestyle. Something about becoming an influencer and needing sponsorship. Let me guess, she needs startup capital? She was very persistent, until I mentioned seeing certain unedited family footage. I smiled. And? I told her I don't invest in people who steal from their own brothers, neither do any of my associates. After hanging up, I opened the old box from my foreclosed house, the one I'd kept sealed for 10 years. Inside, beneath old photos and worthless papers, I found what I was looking for. A handwritten note from my grandmother. My dearest Samuel. It read, never let them silence your truth. You're stronger than they know. My phone buzzed again. A text from Henry, OMG. Your sister just got served with papers outside Starbucks. Someone got it on video. I clicked the link. Sure enough, there was Chloe spluttering as a process server handed her a thick envelope. The comments were ruthless, karma comes with receipts. Family fraud finally faces consequences. Rowan burst through my front door without knocking. Your father's trying to spin this on social media, says you're mentally unstable, and edited the footage. Is he now? I pulled up my laptop. Jamie, you got that assault on camera from multiple angles. Right? Already sent it to your lawyer, she replied via text, along with the signed media releases and unedited footage. My lawyer called next. They're trying to claim defamation, she said, sounding amused. I reminded them that truth is an absolute defense. Also, your grandmother's original house deed? They never had the legal right to remortgage your portion. We're looking at serious fraud charges. What about father's assault? Battery charges filed this morning. The video evidence is crystal clear. I walked to my floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out over the city I'd conquered on my own. Any response from their lawyer? They're claiming emotional distress from public humiliation. I laughed. Funny how that works both ways. Another text from Henry, your parents just got kicked off the hospital charity board. Something about no longer reflecting community values. The doorbell rang. A courier delivered a thick manila envelope, Chloe's lawsuit threat. I added it to my grandmother's box, now repurposed for documenting their downfall. Rowan came over with wine and takeout. You know what's crazy? People are sharing their own stories now. You're trending under #FamilyFraud. She showed me the posts, hundreds of people sharing similar stories of family betrayal and financial abuse. Maybe some good can come from this mess, I mused. Already has. Look. He pulled up a news article about increased fraud reporting in family financial cases. You inspired people to speak up. My phone buzzed yet again. Mother's number. What do you want? I answered coldly. Please. Her voice cracked. We're staying with Chloe, her apartment. It's not suitable for your father's health conditions. Sounds like a personal problem. Prince, please, don't call me that ever again. We'll make it right, she begged. Whatever you want. What I wanted was parents who wouldn't steal from me. What I wanted was a sister who saw me as more than an ATM. What I wanted was a family who'd answer their phone when their son was sleeping in his car. Silence. But what I'll settle for, I continued, is watching you face consequences. How's that influencer deal going, by the way? The one Chloe had scheduled for today? She hung up. Rowan poured more wine. You okay? Better than okay. I showed him my grandmother's note. She knew. She always knew they'd try to break me. Instead, you broke their whole facade. My laptop pinged, an email from Jamie with the final edited footage. Wanna watch? She asked. Post it, I replied. All of it. You sure? It's pretty raw. I thought about that scared, broken man standing in the rain 10 years ago. How he'd rebuilt himself from nothing, turning pain into power. I'm sure, I typed. Someone else might need to see it. Someone else might need to know they're not crazy for standing up to family abuse. Posted, she confirmed minutes later. I raised my glass to my grandmother's note, now framed on my wall. Here's to unsilenced truth. Rowan clinked his glass against mine. Karma, served ice cold with video evidence. The mansion felt different now. Not empty exactly, but cleansed. I walked through the ballroom where it all went down, my shoes clicking on marble that no longer echoed with fake laughter and hollow promises. My phone lit up with a news alert. Local socialite faces federal fraud charges. Chloe's mugshot stared back at me. The FBI had finally connected the dots between her lavish spending and missing family funds. Karma really said, hold my beer, didn't she? Rowan remarked, scrolling through his own phone. Your parents' country club membership got revoked too. How tragic, I deadpanned. Whatever will mother do without her weekly tennis match? The doorbell rang. Henry stood there clutching a thick folder. You need to see this. My dad found more documents about your old house. I led them to my office where Jamie was already setting up her camera. Still documenting? I asked. People want to know how the story ends, she shrugged. Your video hit 5 million views. Henry spread the papers across my desk. Look at these dates. They started planning to take your house months before Chloe's lifestyle upgrade even began. They were using you as a backup plan the whole time. My hands shook as I read the documents. They knew her spending was out of control from the beginning. They knew everything, Henry confirmed. My dad's firm handled the paperwork. He quit over it, said it was clearly fraud. My phone buzzed. Mother again. What now? I answered on speaker. Your father's in the hospital, she said quietly. The stress, his heart. Really? I scrolled through my security camera app. Because my cameras show him golfing at the country club an hour ago. She hung up. Still trying to manipulate you, Rowan observed. Old habits die hard. I picked up my grandmother's framed note. But so does the truth. Jamie's camera beeped. Speaking of truth, you've got a visitor coming up your driveway. On the security feed, I watched Father march toward my front door, designer briefcase swinging. I buzzed him in before he could ring the bell. Come to slap me again? I asked as he burst into my office. Jamie's still filming, by the way. You've destroyed everything, he spat. Our reputation, our social standing, your fraud scheme? Henry held up the documents. Your illegal remortgage plan? Father's face went pale. Where did you get those? Turns out karma keeps excellent records. I stood up. Why are you really here? He deflated slightly, sinking into a chair. We need money. The legal fees. Chloe's arrest. Your mother's bridge friends won't even take her calls anymore. Fascinating, I replied. Tell me, where were these concerns when I needed help? That was different. You're right. It was different. I was innocent. I had done nothing wrong except trust my family. I walked to my wall safe and pulled out an envelope. Here's your loan application rejection letter. I had it prepared weeks ago. You knew I would come asking? Father, I knew everything you would do. I learned from the best. Remember? He stood up shakily. So that's it? You'll just let your family suffer? No. I smiled. I'm letting you face consequences. There's a difference. The court seized Chloe's assets. He tried one last time. We have nowhere to go. Actually, Rowan chimed in. I hear the extended stay motel by the highway has weekly rates. Father left without another word, but his designer shoes didn't click quite so confidently on their way out. You okay? Henry asked after he was gone. I looked around my office, at Jamie still filming, at Rowan and Henry with their unwavering support, at my grandmother's note reminding me to speak my truth. I'm perfect, I replied. For the first time in 10 years, everything is exactly as it should be. My phone pinged with a final news alert. Family fraud video sparks national conversation about financial abuse. Want to know the best part? Jamie showed me her camera screen. Every time they try to spin this, every time they play victim, every time they attempt another manipulation, it's all documented. Their lies don't work anymore. They never will again, I said firmly. Rowan raised an eyebrow. Any regrets? I walked to my window, looking out at the city I'd built myself back up in. Somewhere out there, my parents were facing a future without their social masks. Chloe was learning that actions have consequences, and I was finally free. Just one regret, I smiled, that I didn't do this sooner. I turned back to my friends, my real family, and felt lighter than I had in years. Now who's hungry? I hear there's a great extended stay motel diner we could try. Their laughter filled my mansion, and this time, the echoes felt exactly right.